Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm so excited because my Chanel mini flap turns 1 and I wanted to share a full comprehensive review on this bag and how it's been the past year. I can't believe how fast time is going by. I feel like I just purchased this bag. So you know the drill. I'm going to share a wear and tear update, what fits inside, mod shots, everything you need to know about the bag. We'll touch on pricing, and lastly, if I would still recommend this bag. So grab a snack and let's chat about handbags. Alright, for the sake of this video, I'm going to take off this bag charm. It does tend to fly up and down the straps. I finally pulled the pink one and I'm so excited. You can see like I have a couple other ones, like little blind box pieces like hidden all over my shelf, but I love this one the most because it's pink and it's like the perfect shade of pink. And if you don't like Pop Mart and blind boxes, please keep that to yourself because this also brings so much joy into my life. Back to the Chanel bag. So let's chat wear and tear first because I'm sure a lot of you are interested to know how this bag has held up, especially because it is lambskin. A little bit of context for you, this is my first and only lambskin piece in my collection at this moment. And when I first purchased this bag, I was pretty nervous about how it was gonna hold up because it's lambskin. My medium classic flap is in caviar, so I'm used to what caviar leather should feel like, but I've never had lambskin, was very nervous to use it. It was from 2024 and that's when people really started chatting about the quality of Chanel potentially going down. But as I started using it more, I realized I didn't have to baby it too much. Now I'm not saying like go throw your bag on the floor and just like mistreat it, but you definitely don't have to be too cautious about this bag. The only thing is you want to make sure that you're not going to be rubbing it against something that could scratch the bag because that's the main difference between caviar and lambskin. I've definitely rubbed my caviar bag against some things that could have scratched the bag, but fortunately because it was caviar, it didn't scratch. But I definitely am more cautious about like what this bag is touching in general. But honestly, for this bag to be a year old, it's still in really pristine condition. I obviously don't use it as an everyday bag, but I use it as a weekend bag and it's just been a really great bag. I've taken it to some concerts. Note, concerts, not festivals. I would never take this to a festival, but I have taken this to concerts where it's like more chill. I have like a seat. And then for the hardware, this is actually a light gold or a beige gold, whatever you want to call it. And as I'm inspecting right now, I cannot really see any major scratches on this, which I am very pleased about. And I think Chanel does really great with their clasp in general. But even as far as like the chain goes and even these little hardware pieces at the top right here, it's really not bad at all. Like you would think that the chain would scratch up the hardware. I cannot see any hairline scratches, so that is a win for me. And as far as construction of this bag goes, I thought it was gonna soften up a lot by now, but honestly it's still in really great condition, so I do not see this softening up too intensely, at least for another like few years. And it's still very structured as well. Yeah, I don't really have any scratches on this bag, which yay, I love that for me. I feel like this is more likely to get scratched than the exterior because you're constantly pulling things out of here. I'm definitely very cautious about what I put in here so that when I'm pulling it out, it's not like gonna have like a huge gash into the leather or something. It also holds a substantial amount, which we'll get into next. Oh yeah, did I even look at the bottom? Honestly, the bottom's still fabulous too. So this is a very solid piece and I'm really happy with it. Now I cannot speak for all Chanel bags because I have seen some bags that look a little crooked in store, have some issues. I'm not saying all Chanel bags are perfect, especially when they're coming from the boutique these days. But for me and this bag in particular, I really made sure to inspect the heck out of it before I purchased it. This is not a cheap bag, so I wanted to make sure it was absolutely perfect and up to my standards, which it was because as you could see, this is completely symmetrical right here. I have seen some images of like different flap bags, especially from seasonal collections, where you can obviously tell it's like slanted. So for those of you who are still shopping at Chanel, really inspect the bags before you purchase it. And if they don't have a new one in store, see if they can order you a brand new one from a different store, because you definitely do not want to be spending so much money on a bag that is obviously crooked. So for me, because I was aware of those potential quality issues with Chanel, I really made sure to inspect every detail of this bag. No complaints here on the wear and tear. So moving on, let's chat about what fits inside really quick. I have talked about this in previous videos, but if you don't want to watch those, I totally get it. I love my mini bags, but they have to be functional. That is my main criteria when it comes to mini bags. So with this one, it does not disappoint because it holds my phone, and I'm using a case here to demonstrate because my phone is somewhere else right now, but this is an iPhone 14 Pro with the case, and it fits perfectly fine inside the bag. A lot of people have asked me, does the iPhone Pro Max fit in this bag? And unfortunately it does not. You may be able to get away with it if you don't have a case, but I feel like most people have cases and it will definitely not fit inside this. However, it will fit in a mini rectangle, so if that's your deal breaker, maybe consider the mini rectangle instead of the mini square. But for me, it just happened to work out. And then of course, you gotta be mindful of what you're putting in here. It's not gonna hold your entire life, but it will hold your essentials. So I have my hand sanitizer, my card holder, and I usually use a slim one like this, just because you wanna maximize space. Or I don't even bring a wallet sometimes because I have Apple Pay on my phone. And then I also have a lippy in here. Sometimes I'll throw some like chocolates in here, but that is pretty much what fits inside this bag. Very short and sweet. Like I said, don't expect to carry your entire life in here. Next up, I want to quickly show you some mod shots and the different ways that you can wear this bag. As we know, Chanel chain straps are so long. So there's technically 3 ways that you can wear this bag. You could wear it as a crossbody with the full length chain. You can also use the handy dandy chain adjuster that they provide now when you purchase a bag to shorten the strap. And don't worry if you do not want to buy a bag just to get this clasp. I'll link some alternatives down below if you're interested, but this is what it looks like. And then you essentially just fold this middle piece back up to secure. Once you have both chains on either side of the loop, you just pull the chain in to whatever your desired length is. I usually do it on both sides to keep it symmetrical, and then you can kind of see it looks like this. Can't tell if you could see that or not, but basically the excess chain will hang out inside the bag. You close it up and boom, shoulder bag, super cute. And it also does not damage the inside of your bag, so you could definitely adjust it to whatever length you want. And then the third way that you could wear this is literally just putting the entire strap inside the bag, and you can essentially wear this as like a little clutch, but I don't see too many people wearing it like that. I prefer wearing it as a shoulder bag and then a crossbody bag. Now let's chat about the price of this bag, because I think that's very important, especially if you're considering purchasing this. So if you were to purchase this directly from the boutique, it retails for $5,000 USD, and that is pretty much the price that I paid for it when I purchased it in the boutique. So if you've watched any of my other videos about this bag, the prices on the resale market have definitely fluctuated. Right now you can actually find this bag for under retail, so I will link some options down below for you as well if you want to check it out. Of course, there's a lot of different color combinations and leather combinations, but I'll link like similar ones to this one down below. Oh, and of course the biggest factor is like the condition of the bag. So the better the condition on the resale market, it is going to be a little bit on the higher side. So it's really up to you if you want to save a couple $100s, if not more than that, honestly, depending on what the tax situation is for you. You could save a good chunk of money if you buy it pre-loved. But I do want to say this is technically a seasonal bag now. They do not count this as like a classic flap, but it does show up here and there. It did skip a season, but I want to say it was included in this past like spring summer collection. That is typically the time where I will see this exact colorway, because usually it comes in like other fun colors, but for black, I feel like they only have a select amount every like few seasons or every other season. You really just got to like stay on top of it. So with that being said, now it's time to chat about whether or not I think this bag is worth it and some pros and cons. Honestly, I don't have any cons for this bag. I am very biased, but the only con, if I had to share one, is that the price point. Like obviously, it's a lot of money for a bag, but I am very happy with it. It's gonna stay in my collection for a very, very, very long time. So for me, that is worth it for the price point, but I know it is still a very hefty price tag for a bag. As far as the pros, I really love the size. I think the leather has been wearing really great. I mean, it barely shows any wear and tear right now. So that's a great sign for me, because I know that for future years to come, it should very, very, very slowly start showing wear and tear. The fact that this is a year old and it still looks brand new, I'm obsessed. I also love that I can adjust the chain accordingly to wear as a shoulder bag, because that is my ideal way of wearing this bag. So I'm sure you can guess what my answer is going to be about this bag and whether or not I think it is worth it. But Drum roll. Yes, I love this bag. I recommend it, especially if you know that this will fit into your lifestyle. This in like different pops of color is so stinking cute, but I cannot complain about black because it literally goes with everything. But if you have any questions about this bag, let me know in the comments down below, or follow me on Instagram and TikTok where I share more short form videos of all my bags and like answer questions on there. But thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!